Hello, everyone. For anyone that is here, sorry to be a little late. I couldn't get my camera switched. But remember, as I told you, I'm on my YouTuber journey, so I'm learning. Good. Blessed greetings to everyone that is watching, anyone that is live. If you could do a tester for me and say something in the chat so I can know that it's working, that would be great. My name is Miranda Fergus, and I am a primary school teacher in the beautiful island of Barbados. I'm also an early childhood practitioner as well as a literacy advocate. I have done several studies over my career. That includes masters in, yes, hello, Gustav, hello, Fergie, hello, and I'm sorry I cannot get your name pronounced. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Remember, so that also confirms I can see your questions. So we're going to get started. I have 30 minutes slotted for this time. It's not that it is going to shut off at 30 minutes, but I don't want to make it too long. I want to make it effective. Hi, Leo. Welcome. So once again, my name is Miranda Fergus, and I'm a teacher in Barbados in the primary school system. I've been teaching for 20 years. I have mainly worked in the early childhood department, and my master's of science from Wheelock College in Boston is in early child care in the early childhood settings, as well as I have a postgraduate degree in literacy instruction, and I have used that information as well as many other courses. My daughter likes to tell me that I'm a perennial student in order to be able to come and share this information with you today. So today is the first of a series of workshops that I will be doing via this platform, and I am providing parent support. We all know that we have been we are currently facing a global pandemic. Hello to anyone in 2021 watching this video. I hope that it's over. COVID-19, and it has really impacted our education. It has impacted everything, but it has already impacted our education system. Here in Barbados, we have been at home. Our students have been at home from March 18th, and we are about to head back. Hi, good night, Shari. We're about to head back to school September 21st. Hopefully, everything will be ready, and we'll be ready to go. I, as well as many of my colleagues, teachers, we are anxious to get back to school. We are anxious to help the students and to be able to make progress. But what I have decided to do is to use my platform, Stampy Productions, to be able to provide support for you parents out there, just in case the worst happens. And whether or not it happens, as parents, I was a parent first before I became a teacher. So yes, my children are adults. And I have always been a strong believer in providing support and the parents' connection to the schooling. I'm adjusting because I'm seeing a reflection. I'm going to proceed. So today's topic is letter knowledge. So I'm going to go do a little housekeeping now. A friend of mine asked me if this was limited for only early childhood, because early childhood in Barbados typically is from birth to 8 years old. So in Barbados, we have classes. I know in other, like my parents are from St. Vincent. I think they have standards or grades, and other countries have different titles for different age groups. So I'm also going to use years. So in Barbados, we start formal education at 5, but we have nursery schools here that we have been pushing, and is very, very important. So we have schooling from 3 to 10 or 11, and that's when we do the Barbados secondary schools entrance examinations, that we in Barbados commonly call it the common entrance. And then children go over to secondary school and they stay there until 16, and then they go on to either college or they go to job, they go to BCC or so on. It's similar in a lot of Caribbean islands, that age span, and I think it's similar across the world. So there's going to be useful tips for any age. Today's format. So let me finish my housekeeping section. I'm going to encourage you to subscribe to this channel, because alongside these workshops, I will be posting information. Let me just scroll down to make sure that if I don't miss any questions. I'm going to be posting information on this channel, as well as there's a Facebook page. They're both titled Young Stampy Productions, and I'm process of working on getting some other platforms established, including my website. I'm building that as we speak. But what I want to tell you as parents is that another area that I have provided support is via Google Classrooms. Now, Google Classrooms, we were thrust into it, but they were always there. And I had opened some Google Classroom in the Young Google Classrooms in the Young Stumpy Gmail interface. And I have today one code. You know, if you go onto the Young Stumpy Facebook page, you are going to see, if you scroll down the feed, because you're going to find a lot of resources there, but you're going to also find a post that tells you about classroom codes for students from nursery up to class 2. And for us, that is the 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and 8 to 9. There are classroom resources there. There are classrooms that I have set up and put resources for the various age groups in each classroom. On the Young Stumpy Facebook page, there are codes for each classroom, and this is the Google Classroom. And for you to join the class, you go to the 9 dots at the top of your page, you look for the classroom app, and then you can add join class. Today's class code is really for you parents, and I'm going to show you the class code. I'm going to show you it throughout the night. I have my little whiteboard, my assistant whiteboard, and this is the code ZAKLCUH. Now, this code will be used. Some of the resources that I'm going to speak about tonight, I'm going to put them in this classroom space. So this classroom space is not for the students. There are other classroom spaces for the students, but this particular classroom space is for you parents, and the title of the classroom is YSP Family Support, because that's what we at Young Stumpy really do. My whiteboard has seen better days, but we're going to be using that today as well. So the format of tonight's session, and probably the others as well, I'm going to use question words to guide me. I'm first going to tell you about what letter knowledge is, give you some basic background information, because I think it's important for you to understand what the children need to learn. Then I'm going to tell you why they need to learn the letter knowledge, why it's important. Then I'm going to give you the meat of the matter, the tips and the strategies of how you can support learning. Now, I'm going to give you 5 tips today, but those are but a taste of all of the possibilities that you can explore. Teaching children in this era and teaching our children that are so versed in next generation, we have to be versatile. I am sure you agree that we have to be versatile. Children are so savvy. They seem to be moving at a much faster pace than we were at our age. So we have to we also have to raise our game in terms of providing support. So today's format, we're going to first start with what letter knowledge is, and that's our topic for today. Letter knowledge. Today is letter knowledge. If you want to see all of the other topics, go again to the Young Stumpy Facebook page, and you will see posted there a flyer that lists all the topics for all of the days coming. So we're having activities Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For those of you that live in Barbados, following up soon, I'm currently working on having a physical workshop where you actually come and make teaching aids or manipulatives to take home, to customize and take them home for your particular student or the students in your family. Hi, Melissa, welcome. So today we're going to start with what topic on the topic letter knowledge. Now, basic knowledge is what we all know, is that there are 26 letters in the alphabet from A to Z. What some of you may or may not know is that those 26, but you know that those 26 letters give us all the words that we read in English. And I'm going to speak about English because YouTube is a platform that has many other languages. Those 26 letters give us 44 sounds. And the correct word to say, and I'm going to tell you what I'm telling you the correct word is, that they give us 44 phonemes. Phoneme is spelled Phoneme. If you want to, let me draw the line here because I'm not going to erase the classroom code. 44 phonemes. So the phoneme is the smallest unit of sound that we have in a language. So there are 44 phonemes. So why 26 sounds and 44 phonemes? Because sometimes when you can put what we might call them two letters together, and but really they're making a sound. So for example, there are things called digraphs. They're consonant digraphs, they're vowel digraphs. They're also some letters, for example, vowels. And I like to say the vowels run things in the English language. Vowels have more than one sound, so each sound is counted as a phoneme, and that's why we have 26 letters and 44 phonemes. The components that are very, very important in, and I'm just referring to my notes if you see my eyes cast over, so I want to stay on task. Where's my timer? Yes, my timer is there. The components of letter knowledge include the letters, knowing the sound, that the sound or the sounds that the letters make, knowing what they look like, and for any teachers, you will know that the term is called grapheme. And even if you don't have to be a teacher to appreciate language, and we will know that pencils and graphite, they're all connected. Those words are rooted together. I'm just looking around for my eraser, but I'll work something out. So what they look like, so what a letter looks like, a child needs to know that, as well as to be able to apply this knowledge, the knowledge of the sounds when they're speaking or they're reading, and then or spelling, and then when they are writing, what it looks like. And that application will happen, the sounds will occur in either the beginning of the word, the ending of the middle of the word, or the ending of the word. So for example, the letter B makes the sound B. And that was not the best B, right? I put on a little beige, and I'm going to speak about that later. It makes that sound, and it makes that sound in the beginning of a word, like ball. It can make that sound at the end of a word, like tab. It's the same B. Okay? So students, and let me preface to say that young children, emerging readers, need to have this knowledge. However, if you are a struggling reader, whether it be you are secondary school, you are older primary school child, or you are even an adult, you still need this knowledge. This knowledge is base knowledge for learning to read. That's letter knowledge. What I would not do as a literacy advocate is that I would not use the same methods or the similar visuals for a secondary school struggling reader that is older that I would for young children. And just to remind you, although my master's is in early childhood settings, but my postgraduate degree is in literacy instruction, so I am equipped to share information on older children as well. So, as I said, to wrap up the what, there are 26 letters, there are 44 phonemes. And I'm telling you the word phoneme, and I put it up as well, because you can go online and you can look for resources for phonemic awareness. And I'm going to explain that. Now. Okay? So phonemic awareness is what, if you have a baby 1 to 3, is when you examine the sounds without looking at what the letter looks like. So phonemic awareness skills will allow a child to, some of the skills are omitting, deleting, substituting. So for example, substituting, I'll give you an example of substituting the sound. So if you have a young child or anyone, you'll be able to say, okay, if I have the word bat, and I take off the B, and I put a K, what word will I get? So the child should be able to use their phonemic awareness skills to be able to tell you that that word is cat. Now, where does that information come in? If you are writing a letter, it comes in to help support your spelling. It also comes in to help support your reading, because if you are able to look at a word and see patterns, because everything in mathematics, there are patterns, in reading, there are patterns. So if you're able to look at the word train if you knew the word train and you were looking at DISDAIN, you could be able to look at the AIN part, add DIS to that, and call a bigger word disdain. Put on the D on the AN, say Dane, and then add the dis to that to call it disdain. So you would use, so that is also why in primary school, especially in Barbados, we go, hi Karen, we go with, you will see, no, sorry, not only Barbados, you will see a lot of worksheets and activities with short vowel word families. That is kind of where that comes from. So if you are able to, if a child, a person, a reader, of someone who's emerging as a reader, who's learning, who's on their reading journey, that's the language I'm going to try to use, who's on their reading journey, is able to recognize word patterns and knows vowel patterns and sound patterns and put them together. They will not necessarily have to use to be able to say every word from memory. Some children do depend highly on memory, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because there are a group of words that you kind of need to depend on memory for, and we are going to definitely explore that when we do vocabulary, but we are going to focus on letter knowledge tonight. So as I said, 26 letters in our alphabet. Hi, Joyanne and Nikita. 26 letters in our alphabet, 44 sounds. Those 44 sounds are really called the phonemes. And if you want to do some research on activities that you want to look for, if you look for phonemic awareness activities, you're going to find different activities that you can do for young children as well as anyone that's emerging as a reader. So now we are on to Y. And I was speaking a little bit to the Y. So I can't remember. I think it's 2010. It is outdated to a certain extent if you think about it as a research, because research has like a timeline, but it's also, I can't remember what you call it, core research. So the National Literacy Panel, this was prior to Obama. There was a meta-analysis done. So basically, a meta-analysis is when the core research team collects research projects from many varied sources, and then analyze the results of those research projects. So that's meta-analysis. So a meta-analysis was done in America with the National Literacy Panel, and they recognized from all of these research projects that they put together that having those core skills, those phonemic awareness skills, and letter knowledge and letter sound knowledge, and being able to identify vocabulary words, which is also connected with the application, that those are major predictors in a child's success in school. So, and I don't think it's hard for us to understand that, because reading and literacy drives everything in school, even into secondary school. When we get to the CXC level, they're now doing SBAs in mathematics. So they have to read and write. And we're going to talk about the reading and writing, BFFS, or sisters, the fact that they're so closely linked. So because of that, it's very important that we are honest. And that's my catch term. We are honest about where our children are. And to use Bajan phrasing, the hardest, it might not only be Bajan, it might be Caribbean. The hardest point is to know. So if your child does not know all of the letters, can't recognize all the letters, and the school at which I'm currently assigned, I was doing reading testing online with some of the younger students, and some parents were a little disheartened because they thought the children were more competent than they were. So what I told them is that because you might be doing the letters in the same order all the time, children are very, very smart and learn how to do coping skills, learn coping skills early. So they might be dependent on a particular order, but when I did the testing, it was not in a specific order. Therefore, it really was able to determine whether or not the children really mastered the letters and the letter sounds. And what I told some of the parents is that now you know. So now we know where we are going, and I hope that even if, good night to you, those that you knew I told you look out for this, Even if you were not able to log on to the live, don't worry, it will be on the channel. So that's why I'm suggesting that you subscribe. So expectations, and then on to the meat of the matter, the suggestions and the tips. That's where I want to really get into. So I've been using the term mastery with my parents. So mastery for me, and I'm going to give you a quick story about what I witnessed as mastery. Many years ago, not that many, but a few years ago, I was at another school and I was the reading program coordinator. I was in the staff room and there was a young man. He's probably close to finishing school, and he was collecting something from the freezer in the staff room, and he was playing. He was not physically settled. He was running. He was back and forth. And the auntie somehow was there, and she wanted to show me that he knew his letter sounds and his letter knowledge. And what I would determine as mastery, that she was randomly calling letters, like so and so was the sound for B, and he was like, bah. And it was automatic in him. So for our parents, I told you, I gave the example or the analogy. If I say 2 plus 2, you might not necessarily have to think about it. You know that is 4. If I say 1 plus 1, you know that is 2. So this is what we want for those letter sounds. And why do we need mastery? And why it's better for us to have mastery at leaving. And I say mastery from nursery. So like if you're ending nursery, so you're 3 to 4, you're heading to infants A, or the 3 to 4 are going to 4 to 5. And I'm going to speak specifically to the Barbadian curriculum. Now our curriculum, this Irfan Alcy says overdue. It is overdue for update. But even in the update, there's no way that everything is going to be thrown out. And the reality of it is that in our curriculum, the Barbadian curriculum, and I'm sure by extension, like Common Core in the States and stuff like that, there's similar things when I've been doing my research. When a child leaves the 3 to 4 age group, which is nursery for us, goes to reception, when I examine the curriculum, like from infants A to infants B, those are 2 years above. The requirements in terms of reading, the child needs to leave nursery close to or having high competency level, preferably mastery in recognizing the letters and having most of the letter sounds covered. When I look at what they need to do in reception, then in infants A and infants B. So early in teaching, I thought infants B was intense, and then I got an infants A, and I was like, oh, it's infants B. Infants A is intense in terms of the curriculum requirements. So I always say the infants B pace is hot, the infants A pace is hot, the infants B pace is hotter. So it is what it is. So what we have to do is use our tools to provide support to the students, and that is why I'm doing these workshops. So at the end of nursery, this is me. This is not anyone else. This is me based on my research and looking at the requirements for the older age grades. Now, I go to class 2 in the Google Classrooms of the Young Stampy classes because research speaks to the fact that a child's reading journey in terms of development kind of should, if they're on task, end at the class 2 age, which is the 8 to 9. And when I say end, it means that basically your level or your not your highest, but your skill level of reading, class 2 is a good age to wrap it up, and then you'll be working on increasing comprehension and vocabulary and stuff like that. But in terms of reading skill, it should be wrapping up in terms of developing, learning to read. It should wrap up at class 2, at the end of class 2, right? So if we look at that and we work backwards, at the end of 3 to 4 in the Barbadian curriculum, you should be at mastery level or close to mastery level or highly competent in the letter knowledge area. So that also means that from before the children come to school, before the children go to school and they're at home, there are things that you can do to support the learning. If you know better, let's do better. And that's why I am trying to do better, by providing the knowledge that I have to you. So now we're on to the how. And if there are any questions, please feel free. I'm going to keep scrolling down. I'm going to look to the side, periodically so that if there are any questions, I can answer them in a timely manner. So there are, there are 5 tips that I am telling you tonight. And as I said, these 5 tips are not the be all and end all. I am sure that when I give you these tips, you're going to think of other tips that have come from based on what I have said. Actually, time 2. So the first thing refers to my first tester session that I did, and that was with visual discrimination skills. And I'm going to speak more about visual discrimination skills because they're pretty important. And and it could be anywhere in the world, you can be encouraged to tune into CBC the Morning Barbados show. If you are not here locally, you can tune in on Facebook, look for CBC Barbados, and I go on every other Tuesday. So this Tuesday coming, I will be due to come on. I'm going to speak more about the behind the scenes skills and things that you can do to develop a hand coordination. So visual discrimination has to do with being able to tell the difference between objects as well as words and letters. So visual discrimination becomes a big factor to help children, for example, differentiate between the M and the W, the B and the D, the U and the N, the B, the D, and the P, and letters that for some children become problematic. That's where we need our VD skills. Now, in the Barbadian environment, as I mentioned, so if you watch or view the video, if you go onto the channel, you will see the video that I'm speaking about, and I explain it a little bit more there. So I'm not going to stay too long on that. I just want to show you that in that classroom space, the family support classroom, this is the code, ZAKLCUH. You add yourself with a Gmail password. I am going to put this booklet in there for you. So, well, a soft copy of this book. So this is a workbook that I created for building visual discrimination skills. Last week, in the previous live that I did, the first live that I did, so this is live number 2, I showed the compilation of this booklet and why it's useful to put it in a display sheet like this. So this is the second part. So let's look here, this letter W. And as I said, if you go and you view the other video, you will see these are tracking worksheets. So tracking worksheets, you repeat. It is not a worksheet that you do and you put away. That's why I have suggested that you put them in some sort of write-on, wipe-off booklet, or the sheet protectors, or you might even have a clear plastic bag, and that might work. But tracking sheets, and this is explained more in the first live that I did. So you can go and check that out and see how these are helpful. So for young children, being able to identify the letter, say it, that is going to really help with being able to build that letter knowledge. Now, something like that, as I said before, you will not tell the children to do all 26 one time. I will recommend doing 5 letters a day. And because it's in that booklet that is explained in the other video, you can repeat it constantly. Okay? So that's one strategy. I'm going to put a copy of that booklet in the family support class. And if you have joined any of the classes for your children, they're also in there. But I'm going to put it in there tonight when we finish. When I finish and everything goes live, it takes a little while to load. I'm going to go and put it in the classroom afterwards. So that's one, the workbook. So now it's part 2. I am going to give you the sounds of the 26 basic sounds that we can start with. I'm also going to put a link for a video that I tend to really use. It's a phonics song video that is on YouTube. But I have found that of all of the alphabet sound videos that are there, this one really, really gives accurate sounds, or as accurate as it can be, considering that the person is not from our context. So I am going to tell you, if you are not Barbadian, how I pronounce my A is going to probably be a little different, my L and my R. Same thing for those of you that are Barbadians. At one point, letter learning systems were a big rage. I don't know if anybody remembers hooked on phonics. So they'd use a particular pattern. Then there is, thank you, Tanya. I remember any questions. There was hooked on phonics. That was a system. There was Jolly Phonics. The Jolly Phonics is a particular order, and that's also a system. There is the Thras that came from South Africa. That's also a particular system. So all of these systems are based on research that was done in the particular country, and they have compiled, decided on an order, and they have materials to support. Right now I'm kind of favoring the Jolly Phonics order, but I don't necessarily use the materials. But if I find any free materials, be sure that I will put them in that classroom for you if I find them. Okay? Because I look expeditiously for useful materials, and I put them for us to make use of because we're all on the same reading team. Okay? And that's for the children of Barbados, the children of the world. So I'm going to give you the sounds. Let me clear my throat. Now, I'm not a singer. Okay, I'm an awful singer. So I want you to listen to the sounds, and I'm going to speak a little bit about sometimes what happens in Barbados and how it can really impact thing reader. So vowels have two sounds, a short sound and a long sound, but I'm going to give you the short sound because when we start with early readers, we tend to focus on the short sound. So it's ah, b, k, d, e, f, g, h, e, j, k, l, m, n, o, p. And then I always say Q has a friend and its name is U because Q and U go together to make the sound, excuse me. And together they say kwa, s, t, v, b, x. Now X does not make its sound at the beginning sound in the English language. So I tend to leave X, not leave it out, but if I'm focusing on beginning sounds, X will come later down. But to help the children be able to say the X sound, you usually have to ask them to say a word like fox, box, locks. That gives you that X sound, that glottal sound. So whereas X, yeah, z. Let me do that way again. Yeah. Okay? Now, sometimes what happens in the Barbadian classroom, I'm sure it happens in other Caribbean classrooms, is that we put on the Sometimes I do it as well. So children will say B says B, C says K, D says D. So with reading, if you can remember your precious ones, when they were learning to walk, on their learning to walk journey, everyone does it in different ways. So for example, all the children in my household all stood up and walked, took their first step by 11 months. Some children don't walk. They do that adorable thing where their knees don't touch the ground. They do this creep. They're creeping where their hands and their feet are on the ground, and then they walk. Some children creep for a really, really, really long time, and then they walk. Suddenly, some children hardly creep, and then they go straight to walking. But everyone is not. It's not cookie cutter pattern. Therefore, the reading journey is the same. It's similar. So, some children will know the letter sounds, and even if they can't pronounce them properly, they're able to break down words and say them. So what I recognize in my over in the years is that struggling readers for sure. Struggling readers, when they say "b" and it comes to being able to put sounds together, remember, sorry, I'm not sure if I told you, but with mastery, we want mastery because we don't want the children to be struggling to say a word, to remember the sound, and then to put the sounds together. That's too much to do. So we want it that if they're putting the sounds together to say a word, then they already have the sounds in their head and they're working on putting it together. That's really what we need mastery, So if children are saying "b," I have witnessed that "b," that extra they put the extra sound in the word. So remember, this will not happen for all children, but I have seen it in struggling readers time and time again. When they put that extra sounds on the letter, on the phoneme, on the letter sound, when it comes time for them to be able to pronounce words, it becomes problematic for them because they put on that extra Now I'm gonna say this. There are many teachers that don't know the letter sounds properly either. They also put on that. They also say B says B. No, this is because there is a flaw in our system where I have my first degree is in linguistics, and that's really where I found out about articulation and phonemes and stuff like that. So just imagine that you did not do that, you did not have that exposure, and you're just going based on your knowledge. And it will work. I'm not saying that it will not work. It's just that you really see it manifested in a struggling reader. So if as a parent you would like a face-to-face session where we go through those letter sounds and how to use them, you can let me know in the comments and we'll try to arrange. I will try to interface. In fact, no, let me correct myself. In the face-to-face session, in the physical session, we will definitely for the letter knowledge and building those letter skills. When we're making the manipulatives, one of the things that we will do is go through those letter sounds as well as putting those letter sounds together, because being able to separate a word by sounds and being able to put a word together by sound is not an automatic skill. And some of us, because we've gone past it, we have to like think really, really hard about doing it. Okay, so that's number 2. I gave you the sounds. So because it's YouTube, you can pause and you can go back. However, if you're in Barbados and you have the opportunity to come to one of the physical workshops, we will also go over those sounds. So number 3, this is a suggestion as to why these workshops are not limited to only the early childhood area. Okay, so you, older children, parents of older children, what you can do to build. Now, my child already knows their letter and the letter sounds they're already reading, Miss Fergus. Well, I don't need letter knowledge. What are you bothering me for? So what we can do to increase a child's vocabulary knowledge is that we can create themed dictionaries. Now, they've been at home. They might be driving you a little crazy, and that's okay. What you can do is to have a project. Now, there's a young man that currently attends the school that I am assigned to, and he loves dinosaurs. He wants to be a paleontologist when he grows up, and I really, really love that. So what his mom can do is his mom can have a dinosaur dictionary. So it should be a project. Now, what this can do for older children is that this can develop this can be a source of discussion for you. And the discussion will come in, okay, you can get copy and paper, fold it in half. I think it's about 8 sheets of copy and paper. If you fold that, that should give you enough pages for one letter per page. So it'll be a little small booklet. 1 letter per page. No. I'm looking for, this is a beat up paper. So you're going to fold it. So you only need 1 pack of for the copy and paper. You can get a lot of booklets. Okay? So you're going to fold this. You can stick it on the inside or you can staple on the edges. So here is where the meat of the matter of the development of the critical thinking skills, of the comprehension, of the creativity, of the collaboration that comes in. And these are skills that are important for children in this era. So creativity, they have to design a book cover. They can start to see themselves as authors because they're creating this book. They have to, so what I would suggest that you do is that, as I said, it may be about 8 of these sheets. Folded this way it should be able to give you enough pages for a front cover, inside cover, and then 1 page per alphabet letter. So what I would suggest that you do is that you form the booklet first. Let them write complete each alphabet letter, and it's there. So if you decide, okay, we're going to take 2 weeks to make this book. So there are discussion points. So for example, my friend that loves dinosaurs. One, encourage research. So okay, you're making your theme dictionary. Go onto the internet and research what you're going to be putting in your dictionary. There are dinosaur names that you can put in. There are aspects about the time that you can put in. So that child is going and they're going to be doing research. They can do research by watching videos. They can do research by reading books or typing in things in the search engine on Google. So they're actively seeking to create content for this book. So in order to create content for this book, they have to read through the information. They have to decide on the space for each page. So if you decide, okay, we are going to have no less than 3 words for each letter, no more than 5. So set parameters. And for the older child has to write a brief definition or description of something about what they have written about the particular word, and then the older child should alphabetize each page as well. So we don't want this activity is not powerful if you simply give them a dictionary to copy words. We don't want them going to the dictionary. This activity will be powerful and further their reading skills because they'll be doing research for creating this book. So for younger children, it can be an alphabet book. Simple, and we're going to focus and then with both, you're going to focus on illustrating or drawing the picture to match what you put in. So for younger children, I would put 1 letter per book. And what I would do, suppose I'm doing the letter T, I would want you to consciously think of helping them find words that are represented by each vowel pattern. So help them find a TA word, a TE word, a TI word, a TO word, and a TU word. So for T, and they can do a hunt in the house. You might find table for TA, telephone for TE, tub if you have a tub. It might have a tap. So you can have a particular 1 letter. These for the younger children. The younger children will be 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. When we get to the infants B, so infants A to infants B especially, the infants A children going to infants B, they're going to have to start to do dictionary work. They're going to start to learn to use the dictionary. And building their own dictionary is a powerful way for them to be able to understand how a dictionary works. Because you are going to guide them and put in each letter's words in alphabet order. They're going to put the information down. So when it comes and they have to use a dictionary now, they would already be familiar with the concept of a dictionary. And they would have done it in a fun way. If you have 3 words per letter and there are 26 letters in the alphabet, then 26 by 3, that's a significant increase in the vocabulary. I'm suggesting a themed book because that way you can then target and you can repeat the activity. So suppose 1 is based on an activity or something they like, a career that they might want to explore. So if you want to be a doctor, or the doctor's dictionary, and you do the words. So therefore, you can have, like, say every 2 weeks that they're looking for words based on a specific theme. So that's why I'm suggesting a theme. That way you can get mileage out of doing. And 1 pack of photocopy paper, I think it's about $10 or less. That can give you plenty but less. So for this, you need photocopying paper. If you want to do a bigger one, that's up to you. A pack of A4 photocopying paper folded, means to staple it or glue it together. And then, of course, you need art supplies. You need crayons, a pencil, so that it's attractive. And then you need discussion. And discussion is very, very important for children in order to develop those critical thinking skills. So then we have 1, the workbook that I will be putting for you in the classroom. 2, I gave you the sounds. 3, creating a themed dictionary on alphabet book. I'll pass my turn. But another activity is language experience, right? So language experience activities have to do. So experiential learning basically, and I'm going to speak to the fact that we in Barbados, we have this private school versus public school debate. This is like team, if anybody has watched Twilight, this is like team Jacob versus team Edward. But both areas, both private and public schools will benefit from experiential apologies, experiential learning. So that is basically learning based on your experiences. So let's use the beautiful beach. We live where others vacation, don't we? And if you are going to take, so suppose you take a smaller child, a nursery child, to the beach. You have your phone and you're going to take some pictures of the process. And you might decide to do a little booklet. Now you can create that booklet by the method I suggested before, where you can actually have a physical booklet, or you can do it in PowerPoint if you're familiar with PowerPoint, and then you can have it printed afterwards. You can insert the photos. If you're not tech savvy, find someone that is. It's not that difficult. Go on YouTube, watch a video, and you can insert the pictures. So the little difference between this and an alphabet book is that what I would want you to do. So for young children, I would want you to do what we call dictated sentences. So if let's use the example of B is for beach. We're gonna do it with young ones, and then I'm gonna differentiate for the older ones. So for the younger, for the darlings, B is for the beach, and you're gonna have an adventure going to the beach. You can either decide that the child is going to dictate to you, I went to the beach today, and you are going to write. So one of the things you can do is if you are using the computer, when you are typing, it is important for them to see that what they're saying is being written. What you can also do is if you are using a booklet, a drawing book, you can even get a drawing book and do it that way, and they draw a picture. So what you can do is get a highlighter. If you get a highlighter, you write the sentence. Now, parents, please do not write the sentence or their name or anything in all capital letters. Please, don't do it. Okay? Put on my African voice. That's probably really awful. Don't do it. Do not write in all capital letters. You know what I'm going to do for you? I am going to put another resource in there for you. I'm going to put a worksheet. It's not a worksheet. It's a sheet that shows all of the letter directions that you can, the correct directions for writing for forming letters. So, like for example, B, you bring down the straight stroke and give B the belly. For D, you draw the C first and then draw the straight stroke. So I'm going to put that in that resource classroom for you as well, so that if you are working with them on the letter formation, the strokes are done in the correct direction. Okay? So you get your highlighter and you write the sentence that they told you. You don't write the sentence that you feel that they should write. You write the sentence that they told you, and then you can get their hand. You want to support their writing. If they don't have the grip, I'm also going to put I put it in things for you. I'm also going to put a video in there for you that shows how you can use a sock to help support the grip, to help teach children the correct grip. So if they can't grip the pencil, then you hold them. If they are left-handed, you stand on their left side, I think it is. You stand in such a way that you are not changing their direction. If they are not sure which hand to use, you do not try to force them to. You give them the option to choose which hand is the stronger hand. So you support their hand if you need to and guide their writing. If they can do the formation, and you do it, they write through the highlighter. So when you're in the early childhood department, one of the things that I found so torturous was doing what we call the dots. So you would draw dots for each letter. And once I tried it with a highlighter, it was like, yeah, the highlighter is better and it's quicker. So you can do that. They tell you the sentence. You write the sentence in the highlighter. They trace their right over what you have written, and then they can try to write it on their own depending on where their grip is, where their formation is, and so on. That's for the younger ones. For the older ones, um, nonfiction writing, they can either take the angle of exploring, uh, creating a character based on the beach. They can write factual information about a particular beach that they go to, and it could still be BS for the beach. Again, designing the cover. They can do some sort of experiment that is based on. No, it can't do the sand because we can't move the sand from the beach. I can't support that. Right? They can do some sort of seawater experiment to see floating and sinking, because literacy drives every subject, so we can integrate all other subjects. Okay? So they can do that whole thing. They can do that. So language experience activities are also very, very powerful, and they're powerful to help children understand the reading and writing link. So I'm going to try to put some resources in that classroom for you because I want to move on. I have to be more take with my time. I'm moving this in dramatically. Da, 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 da. So the parents of the school are where I'm assigned. I have been telling them about alphabet art. So this is number 5. This is the 5th strategy. And remember, I am organizing. I'm looking for a space to be able to do physical workshops. And in physical workshops, they will give you enough time. You get a supply list, and we come and we make things so that when you're going home, I like the number 5. So you go home with no less than 5 things that you can go home and work with your child. And these 5 things are not what you're seeing here today. It will not be a repeat. It will be something in addition to. So this is something that you can make. In that classroom, again, let me show you the family support classroom. This is the code that you type in. And you, the parent, that's not for the child, that's for you, the parent. I am going to put should be a Word document. And in this Word document, there are going to be a letter outlines. The letter outlines, right? Sorry. I do a lot of storage in Ziploc bags as well. So I'm going to show you. So this is this printed copy that I sat down and cut out. Now I would say it would take about an hour for me, but I use scissors fairly regularly, and I had an adult friend, Sherry, that once I was helping her when she was young, I realized that like cutting, everybody might not be quick at cutting, but you can do this when you're watching your favorite show. That's fine. And you need to cut out these letters. But when you cut out these letters, you are let me show you one where the inside is cut out. So like when you cut them out, you're going to cut everything out, the inside and everything. Now this is going to be your template. You can use it in multiple ways. You can either print it on white paper, stick it, on a colored paper, stick it on like a cereal box or something like that, because recycling and upcycling is a thing for me as well. You can also print it on cover stock. Okay? Cover stock is like the card, and you can laminate it. It needs to be sturdy, and I'm going to show you why. Okay? The other thing that you can do, and I'm not sponsored by the store, so I want to mention as many stores that I know here in Barbados, is that you can get something called craft foam. Get it back in here. Right? So when your letters are finished, you can get some Ziploc bags for storage. So I got these from a mark today. This is the one color. So this is important. If you print it on cover stock, I want you to print it on one color, the same color. It is important. I'm going to try to get that in way because the time is, I've gone over the time that I wanted to go for, and I wanted to have time for you to have questions if you wanted. Okay? So I'm watching. If you have any questions about anything that I've asked or any queries, please put them here in the chat box, and I will answer them before I sign off. So as I was saying, I got this from Amart. This is craft foam. I believe Lordash also sells craft foam. Any craft store usually sells craft foam, because I'm not telling you that it's one place, but you ask them for craft foam. Or if you want to order from Amazon, just look for it. It's called craft foam. It's a thin foam, and it's usually this particular part is the same color, but there are a variety of colors that you can get. Okay, but when you are doing these letters for this alphabet arch activity, I want you to have all of the letters in the same color. Okay, so the alphabet arch was created, or the research comes from the Hodder Institute, and the Hodder Institute works with dyslexic children, and they use the multisensory approach. And I really, really support the multisensory approach for all children, because the resources that I'm going to put for the parents are going to be in this Google Classroom here. I'm answering a question if somebody came on and said, how do I access the resources? I am going to put all of the resources and the resources will include the workbook, the outline for these letters that I'm putting here, the sock video, the video for the phonic sounds. I'm going to put those in the family support classroom. That's in you have to have a Gmail, because I had a friend that tried to add it with Hotmail and they couldn't access the classroom. So don't use the children's Gmail account, because the children's school Gmail account does not go outside of this. They have it locked off. So you can create a Gmail account that takes like a few minutes. You have a Gmail account, you go into the 9 dots that are at the top, and if you click there and you come down, you're going to see an app for Classroom. So when you hit that app is going to tell you join Classroom. Thank you, Nathan. Join Classroom or add Classroom. So you hit join Classroom and you type in this code, ZAKLCUH. It should take you to a classroom called YSP Family Support. If you cannot get in that way, then send an email to me at youngstumpyproductions@gmail.com and I will add you to the classroom. So you can send an email to the company at youngstumpyproductions@gmail.com. You can send me a message if you follow the Facebook page, or you can possibly type in the comment section under this page after it's live, which I won't wrap up because it's 57 minutes. Okay, so I created this little felt board to display to you. But when you create this, so you're going to get the craft form, you're going to get the letters. As I said, you need to make them sturdy. Now, when you are doing this with your darlings, it doesn't need to be held up. I'm holding it up for purposes of display. So what you're going to do is the alphabet arch. You're welcome. Okay, Kazari seal. You are going to initially draw a rainbow arch for them to follow. Now, I put all of the letters here to simulate how you will put them first at the side somewhere, and they are going to put the letters out following a rainbow arch. Now, we follow the arch because the persons at the Institute found that when children put letters straight across like this, it's harder for them to learn. And I can tell you personally that I was working with a young man. My light, I don't know what happened to my light. I'm kind of sorry. I look real dark. Yes. Yes, Tanya. They're talking as if everyone's can see. Okay, what I was saying. I was working. Parent came to me. The child was in infancy B and he did not know any letters. And I was doing sessions with him on Saturdays. And he came to me like 4 or 5 Saturdays, honestly, right? Daddy came back to me and said, the teacher asked what I was doing, because furthermore to the child knowing the letters, now the child was challenging her in the classroom to let her sounds. And all I was doing was 15 minutes of alphabet arch activities every time he came. Okay? So, you don't need this felt board. Although my felt board is so sexy, I was thinking about because I know there are parents that's like, she does not mean me to make anything. Because I do have a friend that's like that. She's like, I'm not a maker. And in the same way that I respect that I am a maker, I have to accept that there are people that are not makers. But this is for the persons that will want to make something. So what you can do, you don't need to have a board for them to put it down on. You can get a piece of chalk and draw it on a table or wherever they're working. But if you want for continuity, or just if you want establish a space, you can have get a sheet of Bristol board, and they can draw the line in an arch, a semicircle, for them to work. So what they're going to do, and I'm going to have to, you're going to put the letters one side. Now, I put Velcro behind these for demonstration purposes. So let me just put them quickly. I'm going to put it there on purpose. So I'm sorry I have to, I just want you to see the art. Forming. And what you would do is, it was doing it quickly, but what you would do is encourage them to say the alphabet as they're doing it. So for a struggling reader or older children, they have done this with older children as well. They're saying the alphabet, and what this does is that this helps them with alphabet order. It helps them to develop the skills needed for alphabet order, because we take that for granted. A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm going to go to G. Because I want, let me see. G. I want you to see either, okay. H. Okay. So you're going to come and you're going to form the arch right there. Now, if you look at my chart, there's a mistake here, right? I have put the B and the D in the wrong position. So in a case like that, right, why it needs to be in the same color is that you will start to begin to see if the children already know what the letters are. Now, there's no difference between the D, the P, and the B, except how they sit on the line. This, and this. That's right. Sorry, this. Same grapheme sitting on the line different. So in a case like that, and you have a child and they're making that mistake, what I would tell them is, look there at that letter. Look at your B. Look at the direction in your B. So I would keep asking them to, without telling them your B is wrong or your D is wrong, I would tell them, look there again at that. Have a look, have another look and see if there's anything wrong. If they can't get it, I will send them back to the bed. Put your bed together. So and I think I explained it in the other video. Bed is a way that children, when they're on site, is a physical way for them to be able to distinguish between B and D. This is the bed. This is where we lay down. B is at the top of the bed, and it's going to be reversed because I am facing the camera. But B is at the top of the bed, or with your left hand, and D is with your right hand. So if you put the bed together, B is at the top of the bed, D is at the bottom of the bed. And I especially like this because they can take it with them and put it down and look and see where the curve is. So if you would have gone through the bed strategy with them, and if when they're putting the arch down, they can't see it, you tell them, use the bed, put the bed together, right? So you're going to put the full arch out. There are different activities that you can do with the arch. So 15 minutes a day. One of the activities you can do, as I said, what you would start with is that they always put the arch out. So let me fix mine. You can go through the sounds. And if you go through the sounds, they are broken into quartiles. So you can go through A, B, C, D, and E. What you can also do here is ask them to the middle spot to break down. So I would say break down. Break down. Put next to it. I have to look at it. That's right. Sorry, and you can see this is the my cardboard is the inside of I think a bed sheet. What a bed sheet stores in. So you would ask them to put these songs together. Bah, bah, and you might have to support them at first. So your focus might not necessarily be on making words yet, right? But another thing you might have, you ask them to put back the b, ask them to put a f and ask them to put those sounds together. You may ask them to put back the ah in the correct place and ask them to put the eh. I realized I was doing it off screen. And ask them fe. So you're putting together parts of the word, and at some point you can even move on to short vowel families. Let me put these there. Right? And you ask them to put the sounds together to get fed. You may ask them to move the d, put back the d. And you can put them, ask them to say feg. You can have a discussion on whether or not feg is a correct word. You can ask them, move up the eh. Put in the eh. Put in the eh. I remember the words would have been a full arch. We didn't have enough time to get g, feg, and you're putting different sounds together. So one of the activities with the alphabet arch, this works. Trust me, this works. It takes time. It's not an instant fix. 15 minutes a day, it works. So for those nursery parents, I hope even if you're not here and you watch the replay, because I want to close on now because I really went over. But we're having such a good time reading team. If you do this 15 minutes a day, consistently and patiently. So with this, you can't tell the child, go and do the alphabet arch. You have to be there, the guide on the side. So remember I told you, don't tell them, does not let them set it out. At first, you may have to help them with the letters because tell me in the comments, please. When I was a child, I would say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, real beautifully. Reading and still singing L, M, N, P. If you did that, please say it in the comments. Please tell me in the comments if you did L, M, N, P or any other things. Okay? Yes, you have this journey is not a journey that the children can this reading journey. You need Stacey, you agree with me? Yes. And I mean, it was like a boss reader, you know, and singing LMLP strong. Okay? I agree with Amma. That's Alicia. This is a journey, and this journey needs a team. I am on your team. You are on their team. And we are all about the success of the children of the world, the children of Barbados, and by extension, the children of the world. We need it because they are going to turn the tide of what is happening in this world right now. So we have to equip them. We have to prepare them. We have to do what is right by them. So we have to support them on this journey. This is not a journey that we can tell them go on and do by themselves. So those 5 activities are but a taste of some of the things that you can do to support your child's reading development. I'm not going past 110. I'm not. Okay? So those 5 things, just to wrap up. There's the workbook. I am going to put the workbook as well as some other resources in the Google Classroom. The Google Classroom is called the YSP Family Support Classroom. This is not in your child's class Google Gmail. Do not use your child's Gmail to add to this classroom. This classroom is for you. There will be no games and so on for the children. If you cannot get yourself added, drop me an email at youngstampyproductions@gmail.com and I will add you to the classroom. But you have to say that you want to be added to the parent classroom because other people email me as well. Okay? Joy, I said to this day. At Gmail. Who else? Like, sometimes I still get song lyrics really incorrect, and I'm singing them really beautifully. So this is the Gmail address. If you can't access the classroom, drop an email to this and someone will answer you. Even if it's not me, it's someone from the business will answer. And just say, I want to be added to the family support classroom, and I will add you. right? So remember, letter knowledge is key. It is a great predictor of children's success later on in reading and by extension in life. There are 5 things. So what we want, our target is mastery level, and mastery level is knowing those letter sounds automatically, so that when they're actually attacking the words, they're not struggling with the letter sounds. I'm going to put the workbook in the resource classroom. I gave you the sounds, so you can go back. I can't remember what timeline is that, but somewhere in there, I gave the letter sounds. And I'm also saying that I'm going to have an in-person classroom, an in-person workshop, and we will go over the letter sounds as well as make other manipulatives or teaching aids that have nothing to do with what we did today, what I did online today. That's something separate and a different, okay? Creating alphabet books, dictionaries to build children's vocabulary as well as to get them in hand. That's for older children. For younger children, it will be an alphabet book. Language experience activities. So show that a reading and writing link. When they write, they can see that what you write for them, that there's something that they speak that can be written, and then it's reversed. So there's something written that they can speak. Thank you, Tanya. And then the alphabet arch. Right? So, oh, my letters fell down. So if they follow Young Stampy on, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, so when I go live, this week, as well as any following workshops, you'll be notified, and any videos that I post, you will also be notified. And follow us on Facebook. If you follow us on Facebook, then anything I post, any activities that are upcoming, and there are some activities, there are some resources that will be coming, and the resources will take the form of outdoor learning activity that I'm really excited to bring to Barbados, as that I'm actually finishing up the development for, as well as specific one-on-one services that persons have been asking me about. So stay tuned to those. You are most welcome. I don't see any questions in the chat box. I thank you very, very much for staying here with me. It was supposed to be only 30 minutes and I went over an hour, so I'm going to have to work on that tomorrow and keep it tighter. But I do hope that you found something that you can make use of to help your child to maximize their full potential and move smartly along on their reading journey. I am on your team and you are on theirs. And that's what we are about at Young Stampy Productions, purposed edutainment. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you. Well, sorry. If there are any questions. Thank you, Dion. Thank you. I'm glad that it was useful. And remember, these are but a taste of the varied activities that you can do with your children. I'm going to put the resources in the classroom for sure. If not tonight, tomorrow, because this is going to take a little while to load, and I don't want to interrupt definitely teamwork. We are on their team. Amma is a teacher, and she knows well about being on their team. We are here to support you because we want our children to be successful. There's nothing that touches a teacher's heart like seeing children that they have taught ever at any point they're doing really, really well. So contrary to some beliefs that are being perpetrated, teachers want to see their children be successful, and we're ready to put ourselves to the grind. So thank you very, very much for staying with me. I look forward again to having another session tomorrow where we look at another activity. I believe tomorrow is vocabulary building and the activities that you can, and I'm going to try to get 5 activities again. As I said, I like 5. And we're also going to be doing composition writing. Thank you, Gustav. Thank you for staying. So I'm going to say goodbye now and hopefully see you tomorrow. And if not, be sure to, if you have any questions, if you were not here for the live, be sure to put them in the comments. I will answer them. I can guarantee you. Yeah. Yes, please. There's a question, Alison. I see you got here. Okay. All right. So she's just saying thank you. All right. So there are no questions that I see in the chat. If there are any questions with you, please put them in the comments under this video and I will be sure to answer them. And even if you have a comment, please put it in the comment under the video once it goes live. Check for tomorrow. And remember, Young Stampy Productions Purpose Edutainment is here. We are on your team and you are on theirs. Bye. And